Do you remember the days when comic books were all about fairly one-dimensional heroes fighting goofy bad guys? Probably not, as most readers, and probably most of you watching this, picked up their first comic when characters would spring out the pages with the prefix of super, being as clear to see as it was colourful. Heroes could move mountains with their minds, beat up legions of enemies with ease, and even eat a whole bunch of chilies without shedding a tear. This sense of the extreme was often pushed when it came to their morality too, which is why it's always interesting to see stories where the lines begin to blur. This includes times, like in the original Civil War, seeing Iron Man resort to more and more villainous acts, such as being okay with super baddies, hunting down super buddies, and locking captured foes in an other dimensional prison. With that in mind, I'm Ewan from What Culture, and here are the 10 times that comic book heroes became villains. Number 10. Superman, Injustice. Injustice was the result of DC and NetherRealm Studios getting around a table and asking two questions. How can we get the taste of Mortal Kombat vs DC out of people's mouths? And the other was, how can we justify Superman fighting Batman? The answer to both questions was to make Superman evil, which they did in a way that was actually quite believable. In this reality, the roulette wheel spun, and it was the Joker's turn to mind control Superman. In his confusion, the big blue Boy Scout thought that his pregnant wife Lois was Doomsday, you know, an obvious mistake to make, and accidentally killed her in the process. As if that wasn't tough enough, a nuke had been rigged to blow when her heart stopped, taking out Metropolis in the process. The utter devastation to Superman's life made him snap. Punched through the Joker, literally he punched a hole in him, and start him on a path of being Earth's very own judge, jury, and executioner, murdering a trough of superheroes in the process, with Lady Macbeth, Wonder Woman, egging him on. Speaking of Wonder Woman, number 9, Wonder Woman, Injustice 2. It's fair to say that her role in Injustice 2 amounted to little more than being Lady Macbeth, stopping just shy of commanding Superman to screw his courage to the sticking place. And really, her transformation into a villain had little motivation behind it, in the grand scheme of things. Sure, Supes had the death of his wife and child to act as a catalyst for his downfall, but Wonder Woman kind of just went along for the ride. Number 8. Scarlet Witch, House of M. This may toe the line between being a villain and just being angry, but when you're a being as powerful as the Scarlet Witch, there isn't much wiggle room for semantics. After suffering a mental breakdown, Wanda Maximoff's powers start to become so powerful that even Professor X and Doctor Strange can't restrain her. The Avengers and the X-Men debate whether or not to kill her, as that's essentially the only way to stop her from going all nuclear on all creation. Having heard this, her brother, Quicksilver, basically tells her to make a reality where everyone's happy. Then Wolverine ruins it all by actually remembering everything and goes on a crusade to set the world the way it once was. Eventually, other heroes also remember this, engaging in a huge fight that pushes Scarlet Witch to utter the phrase, "No more mutants," which wipes out roughly 90% of Homo Superior's superb powers from existence. Not cool, Wanda. Not cool. Number 7. Captain America, Secret Empire. If controversy could manifest in a physical form, it would be, without a doubt, Secret Empire. For those not in the know, Secret Empire basically revolves around Oh Captain My Captain revealing himself to be a Hydra agent. This kicks off almost immediately, with the Chitauri, you know, those space jerks from the first Avengers film, trying to invade Earth. World leaders panic, and Captain America is given total control of the American military. This is when he shows his true colors, trapping the strongest heroes out in space, and systematically taking over the planet in the name of Hydra. But the original Captain comes back to save the day in the end. It's a turn as bad as any other, but if I were to call any in bad taste, it'd definitely be this one. Number 6. SpiderMan, the Marvel Universe vs. the Punisher. Over the decades of being plastered over the pages of comics and appearing throughout TV shows and films, Spider-Man has amassed a wealth of weird iterations and appearances. Many of these are morally dubious. None, however, come close to Spider-Man in the story of the Marvel Universe vs. the Punisher. Set in a reality where the Punisher accidentally released a virus that spread throughout the states, which turns people into cannibals, it just so happened to infect Peter Parker, seemingly as Patient Zero. But that doesn't stop the Punisher going around and doing his thing. You know, blowing people's heads off with a boatload of guns. This includes when he encounters a totally friggin' beefed up Spider-Man, Jesus look how jacked this guy is, who is in charge of a clan of cannibals. There's a lot more to cover with this story, seeing how it is a Frank Castle tale, but the point is Spider-Man started eating people and didn't stop until he bit off more than he could chew with the Punisher. Number 5. The Hulk. Old Man Logan. In the original Old Man Logan story, which is definitely nowhere near as good as Logan, just saying, the world has been decimated by the Red Skull. For reasons that vary from radiation poisoning to just being himself, the Hulk decided to be on the side of killing things and being a hillbilly analog, fostering an inbred family in this dystopia and going after Wolverines in order to get a reaction out of the Old Man. Why do people rate this story again? I mean, look, there's a symbiote T-Rex. I mean, come on, why? Back to Hulk. He ate Old Man Logan. Yeah, he ate everyone he beat up, that's a thing. But Wolverine healed up in his stomach, and he tore his way out of the belly and basically killed the not-so-jolly Green Giant. Kudos to him, I guess. Number 4, Green Lantern, Emerald Twilight. A classic case of the fans don't like him, so we don't like him. Hal Jordan went on a murder spree when DC saw Green Lantern comic sales weren't looking so hot. He killed the entire Green Lantern Corps, he killed the all-powerful, yet apparently not that powerful, Guardians of the Universe. The lunatic then proclaimed he was now Parallax, and began making life for everyone in the DC Universe pretty unbearable. Number 3, Cyclops, Avengers vs. X-Men. Avengers vs. X-Men sees the two teams start to butt heads when both of them want to take care of Hope Summers. She's considered the mutant messiah by some due to her grand amount of power, blowing up the X-Men's mutant detecting machine, Cerebro, as soon as she was born. Like two parents duking it out to settle who loves the kid more, the two teams went to war. During the pandemonium, that pesky old cosmic entity known as the Phoenix Force came about and decided it would be hilarious to possess Cyclops, Emma Frost, Colossus, Magic, and Namor for some reason. They then became the Phoenix Five, which, one by one, they're depowered, with their Phoenix power going to the other hosts until old Scotty is the last one standing. Number 2, Batman, the Batman who laughs. Anyone familiar with Dark Knight's metal knows it's a twisted read, and the origin of the Batman who laughs is no exception. In the storyline, we're given a little bit of backstory as to how the Clown Prince did what he did. Basically, he recreates the Dark Knight's origin time and time again in front of him, as he's all helpless and chained up. Although this does give a Clockwork Orange a run for its money, Batman breaks out, and in the process he accidentally snaps the Clown Prince's neck, which releases an extra strong dose of Joker gas straight into his face. When it becomes painfully clear that Batman is getting more and more messed up, he assembles the Bat family. They quickly realize that their mentor is prepping them to defeat him when he finally snaps. It seems for a second like he's ready to take their help and trying to fight the Joker's toxins, but then he just turns around and guns them all down. Not content with that, he then goes on a terrifying murder spree to end the universe as we know it. A terrifying turn for all concerned. Number 1, Mr. Fantastic, Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies Dead Days totally warps any preconceived perceptions of Mr. Fantastic. Marvel heroes and villains get infected by a zombie virus, which not only makes them undead, it retains their superpowers and their intelligence. The difference with Mr. Fantastic is that while he's performing an autopsy on one of the defeated zombies, he begins getting all amazed and enthralled. He's marveled by how they can survive without their brains, and that they can essentially be immortal. That's what makes him so cold and callous. Worst of all, he wants to spread the zombie plague to the rest of the multiverse. This all makes him a man that should, ideally, be hated across the entire multiverse, including the one we're living in right now. And that's our list. Know if any other heroes turned bad? Let us know in the comments below. As always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and head back over to whatculture.com for more top-notch comics coverage all the day. I've been Ewan, and I'll see you next time.